Kirinyaga Governor Waiguru spoke today in Citizen TV, and she actually said that she could not defend, or rather she cannot defend her governor seat through the Jubilee party ticket. And that opens up a conversation on the state of situation in Jubilee party. After the fall of BBI, every person has to go back to drawing board. Now, in this episode, I am going to talk about why I think that Central Kenya have fallen out with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because according to Waiguru's revelation, it seems that the president no longer has the monopoly of power at the top of the mountain. Guys, one thing you have to give it out is that it is true that President Uhuru Kenyatta have lost touch with Central Kenya. And I also want to agree that some of the leaders in those areas are actually political orphans. And that is why they can be adopted by any other father. And perhaps that shows why they're very good friends to Deputy President William Ruto. While others also have started to build their own homes after they went parentless. Moses Kuria is establishing People's Empowerment Party, and he has said that he's not going to vie for any political seat. Mwangi Kiunjuri is also the Service Party. But my point number one, why I think President Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer having a monopoly, or rather is no longer the kingpin of Central Kenya, is one, the perceived underdevelopment in the region. One of the political narratives that the leaders that are allied to Deputy President that oppose President Uhuru Kenyatta have told the people of the Central Kenya is that the president left his backyard and went to establish development projects in other parts of the country, especially talking about the Western and Nyanza regions. Yes, it is true that President have made many visits and have launched multi-billion projects in Nyanza and Western counties in his second term compared to the first term. And maybe also you have to give credit to its due. But I want to say it is a perceived underdevelopment, because when I listened to Rigathi Gachagua, he spoke sometime last week, and he was saying that they can only meet the president if they are going to talk about the stalled projects in Central Kenya. So why stalled projects? I want to believe that, guys, look here. After 2017 general election and after the handshake, Deputy President was actually launching different development projects in the country. And during those launches, he was also using those opportunities to tag his campaign message with what the government is doing. But it was actually also believed that some of those projects did not have a good financial framework or financing from the national or county government. So it was also believed that those projects that were being launched by the Deputy President were just being launched for political capital. And you remember when President spoke in Kajiado, where the word Tanga came from. Actually, it is President Uhuru Kenyatta that made Tanga what it is. It was after President was saying that naibu wangu anakujanga huku anarandaranda, anatanga, akikuja huku mnamwambia vitu zenye hazijatengenezwa. That was because it was actually trying to mock the different development projects that William Ruto was launching, but they were not being completed. So I also categorically want to believe that maybe some of the stalled projects that Central Kenya MPs are talking about are those projects that were initiated at the onset of the second term of President Uhuru Kenyatta's government, but they did not have financial framework. Because what President has actually launched is on progress. And so that was a political narrative that have actually sinked in. And with the COVID-19, the economy have also been devastated. That is why people are really feeling like Central Kenya is underdeveloped. I don't know what they expected, but that is a narrative that have really been planted in the people in the mountain, and they have really made to believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta is the problem. The second point, and I want to tie it to the first point, is the poor state of economy. One of the conversations in this country is the public debt, the economic recovery. Everyone else, every presidential aspirant is coming up with which model, which solution to recover the economy. And of course we have to agree that COVID-19 also brought fundamental interruptions, disruptions in the economic development of the country. And that you cannot underestimate. And so, one of the things that have also been sold to the people of Central Kenya is that they are suffering because the economic state of the country is down and the government is not providing for them. Actually, in the bottom-up approach by Deputy President William Ruto, he's actually telling his followers that that is one way of reviving the economy. And Central Kenya have been made to believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta is the problem. And he is the problem because he is not looking into the welfare of people from the mountain. And that is a political narrative that have really taken root. And everyone else, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka talked about economy. Raila Odinga is talking about economy. And Musalia Mudavadi is talking about it. And because it has garnered the national attention, it has become a national discourse. I think it is one of the reasons why the Central Kenya people think that President Uhuru Kenyatta has let them down. There are more to that. And this one is one that have really been peddled over the years. Ruto betrayal by Uhuru to Raila. And guys, this is the political narrative, or this is what Deputy President William Ruto is harboring his 2022 campaigns. I don't know, I still really want to understand how President Uhuru Kenyatta betrayed Ruto by handshake with Raila. And it is believed that he betrayed Ruto in one way, which they say themselves. Ruto have always said that he was not part of Building Bridges initiative and stood out to oppose it, and they've come out to put him away from it. But what really happened is that Deputy President William Ruto was actually told of everything. This is according to President Uhuru Kenyatta. One of the narratives that have been sold to the people on the mountain, they have been told that the talks about corruption in the government, they remember the Aurora and Kimorera Dam, were all moves by the government to taint the name of Deputy President. As if that is not enough, there have also been the cases of Kenei killing that was linked to the office of the Deputy President. The narrative went out that the President is not protecting his deputy and was actually underestimating the job of his deputy. You cannot forget about the super minister opportunity, the powerful ministry that was given to Matiang'i, that is seen as one of the way of setting Ruto away from the government. Remember, all are these perceptions to make Ruto be a lone ranger in the government. And that sort of betrayal is hurting the mountain. Why? Because in 2013, they supported Deputy President William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta in TNA under the Kumi Yangu Kumi Yako. So when they see that President is adamant to support his deputy for president in 2022 because he has mentioned because he has mentioned that he's not going to support him, and even from all things happening around the party, he may not be supporting him. Oh, another reason is lack of vibrancy of Jubilee party in the region. Jubilee party is the ruling party, and they lost Kiambaba by elections. They failed. They lost to Kibra. Remember when McDonald Mariga was actually slotted in to face on with the ODM candidate, and they lost. They tried to support ODM in Msambweni, and they lost. And if you look at all these political parties, I think one of the parties that is not really active is Jubilee. The only point you will listen to Jubilee party leaders speaking is when they are talking about Deputy President William Ruto, or they are talking about a parliamentary group meeting, a PG, to remove someone from a seat in National Assembly or Senate. Remember also, there was an attempt for them, because all the leaders, according to their constitution, are now working there under interim basis. So they were supposed to hold grassroots elections to revamp the party. But because they feared that Ruto would use that opportunity to plant his own people in the party and plant his own loyalists to take charge of the party, it is believed that that is the reason why that was shelved. But remember also, COVID-19 was here. So that's why that also did not happen. So there are a couple of reasons to that. But the fact that Jubilee is not very active on the ground cannot be underestimated. They are not, it's one of the largest parties that doesn't have a presidential candidate. So far, when they divorced with Ruto, ODM have fronted Raila, even if Raila have not announced officially. ANC is with Musalia. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is with Wiper. And so that vibrancy the party is lacking there, because I think, for lack of a better word, it's also lacking the leadership. The party leader who doubles up as the president of the country, President Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't remember the last time he was seen at Jubilee headquarters. It may be the moment President Uhuru Kenyatta will walk at Jubilee headquarters is when those leaders that are still clinging on Jubilee party for 2022 prosperity are going to revive back their energy. I don't know why in Kenya, when someone is elected, he tries to detach from the party. While in Tanzania, Chama cha Mapinduzi, which elected Magufuli was donning the party colors, the shirts, in national events. Actually, in Tanzania, when you walk, when you're driving, like the other day I was there, last year, but one, they still have flags of Chama cha Mapinduzi along the road. And yes, it's a national party, but there are also other parties. And finally, the business interests. The business community in central Kenya are the largest financiers of government, but they have also felt like they've been left behind. And behind the scene, remember, when KRA is going after Tamitha Karanja and other people, and also sort of demolitions. So politics about those interests also. So when you don't also take the interest of the business community, I think you also stand chance to lose the grip of the mountain. And that is why you see that Raila Odinga used that opportunity. He knew that the business community from central Kenya were not fully comfortable with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then they are looking for someone who can take care of their interests. There are things like demolitions that affected some people like in Kariakoo. And if you see musicians like Mugai and Njoroge coming out to call on the government for these things, these are some of the small things that have made Uhuru Kenyatta unpopular in central Kenya. Because most of these people who are affected are people from his backyard. And so guys, you can also get to our comment section and tell us, what are your thoughts? What do you think might have brought up the fallout between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the mountain?